and welcome to this video. I'm George from the channel Untraveled Roads. I'm here in Fuerteventura in one of the Canary Islands. And in today's video I want to discover the north part of this island. And I found a really cool German YouTuber who had this idea of following a straight line for 2 days. And I want to do something similar, but instead of a straight line I will walk a square across the northern part of this island. Have fun with this video and let's go!
And so my journey started, following the next 2 days a straight line across the island over sand, rocks and volcanoes. Fuerteventura is the second largest of the Canary Islands and actually the oldest one, created 20 million years ago by volcanic eruption. The last eruption older on the island was 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. Since then the volcanic landscape has been eroded by the weather. Fuerteventura is known for its strong wind. Besides its famous UNESCO protected sand dunes, the island is covered with volcanic rocks and craters that can reach hundreds of meters. With the exception of some oases, the island is without much vegetation. Especially the north of the island is very harsh and dry, covered with multiple volcanic mountains and craters. Directly in front of me was such a 400-meter high crater. My first obstacle. Let's do this.
With a piece in my hand and bloodshot eyes, I walk to the water for a last goodbye. He begged so much, it clouded my mind. One thing's clear, the man's gotta die. Might makes right, so he said, when he held all the keys over our head. I lived in that grip, but now he'll learn at the end with the tables turned.
Up, up, up. Straight line.
Down the river where the guilt can't find a red-handed sinner. On where the grave can't cry out. 'Cause I done wrong. Down the river with a hand on a colt and a finger on the trigger and
To talk a bit about the practicalities, I have the GPS route programmed. So I'm supposed to follow this route. I'm 1-2 meters off. Realistically, I gave myself a tolerance of 5 meters in both direction because simply my GPS is not so accurate. The stones are really difficult. It's slippery. Good, less talking, more going. It's going up here. Okay, I'm supposed to cross here through, I think it's a riverbed. Probably if it rains, it's a few days per year. It's a pretty intense river going down there, but here I need to be careful. With this, there's one little plant. It's a survivor here. Whew. Everything else is nothing. And a football field. And here, somewhere in this direction, I think here actually, is my house where I'm staying. Of course, I need to pass here. Fuck shit. Good, let's do this. Oops. But you can see what you want. It's somehow beautiful.
Walking on loose stones up this 400 meters high crater without any trail was more difficult than I expected. Because of the stones and rocks, it is very slippery, making it difficult to walk fast. Since 1 hour I'm trying to climb up this mountain. But in the end I made it.
On top, and here is nothing. It's flat, and here is another volcano.
The name Fuerteventura is built from the word fuerte meaning strong and ventura meaning virgin. Traditionally the name has been regarded as a reference to the strong wind around the island and the resulting danger to nautical adventurers. Especially on top here the wind was crazy, but soon I should learn that the wind can even be stronger. For now, let's leave this volcano and climb down.
The wind is crazy! I hope it's a bit less than what we walked up, because it was pretty steep. This looks okay. It is not so bad. It's quite steep, but not too steep. So basically we go straight down here and I think up this volcano there, or mountain or whatever it is. And look here, here's everything full of volcanoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where I'm coming from. I'm almost at the bottom, a couple of, I think, 100 meters more down. But I thought it would be more steep, more difficult, but it was okay. The stones are just really, really slippery. But yeah, so far not so bad. Now I will walk here along this flat area, and I think sidewards I'm going a bit on this mountain slash volcano thing. But here I hope I can make quite a lot of speed because it's pretty flat.
Walking on the sheerly endless seeming plain gave me a strange vibe that is really hard to describe. In every direction I saw nothing, which gave me on one hand a feeling of freedom. Usually during my hikes I take routes that are remote and end up not meeting anyone. And I love this longitude. I'm not sure why, but here I felt the remoteness very strong. And I had a feeling of loneliness. Maybe I got this feeling because here is no vegetation, and on the first sight everything seems dead here. But very soon I should get some company.
Look, there are goats. Here's absolutely nothing. That's the first green thing I saw since a while. Other than that, it's only goats and me. So one of the difficult things on this hike and in general in Fuerteventura is that there is actually no river, especially here in the north. So I don't have any chance to filter water or get any water. This means I have all the water for the next 2 days in my backpack, which is around 10 kilos. That's, I think, the spine of a goat. Amazing. And here, probably one of the legs.
I got closer and closer to the sea, meaning one side of the square was almost finished, and slowly the sun began to sink. But I was not even close to where I wanted to be.
There in front is a street. Looks like a highway. I hope I can cross it, otherwise I might have a problem. Good. I don't know why, but my route goes exactly straight. And there's a bridge. I will not cheat. I will conquer this bridge. 10 liters of water. Fuck me. There's an obstacle. It's a highway that I need to cross. But first of all, I really don't want to cross a highway. And secondly, there's a fence. But there's a small tunnel, and in worst case here's a bridge that I can use, but I don't want to go too far away from my actual route. I will check the tunnel. That would be just 10 meters off the route. I think I can use this one. Again, a tunnel. The street is crossed, respective went under it. Now it should be a couple of 100 meters more in this direction, and then I make the first turn to the left side as soon as I'm almost at the beach.
And it became golden hour. I wanted to push a few kilometers till the next volcano before making my camp.
Now is the moment where I make the first corner of the square, so I continue in this direction. And it's getting already a bit late. So today, because it's still winter, it gets dark at around 6-ish. And it's now 5:30, so I will go another half an hour. I hope I crossed this side of the volcano before it gets dark. And then I will need to search for a camp spot. As always, if you like my video, give a thumbs up, and also if you want to support me and my channel and make videos like this possible, subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Whew. I left the trail. Basically the way would have been here on top, but it was impossible to find anything. So I went up here a couple of meters, and it should be fine here. I make the camp here. I removed some stones, at least the biggest ones, so to not endanger my sleeping pad again. Look at this view. This is beautiful. So the 5-star Georgie hotel stands. I make now the sleeping pad. It's perfect. And tomorrow sunset will be from here. So perfect conditions for a beautiful sunrise. So today the gas cooker and not the hobo, mainly for the reason because there's no wood here. Because there are no trees. Well, let's see if the wind protection will help anything. It's really windy. Friends, I finished my food and now I'm ready to go to bed. And it's around 8, so a bit early to sleep. I will try to read for an hour or something, and but go to bed. It's pretty cold with the wind. Not cold, but it's not pleasant. Anyways, long story short, going to bed. Hope you liked it so far, and see you tomorrow morning. Good night.
This long road ahead of me leads to somewhere new. Though great things lie ahead, doesn't stop me from yearning for home.
Good morning.
Up to the sunlight, but my anchor stays the same, and I stay connected. I feel the pull. Oh, darling, if I ask you, please, won't you take me home? Won't you take me home? It's been too long since I've been gone, and I am tired in my bones. I'm tired in my bones. I don't know how to carry on, so won't you take me home? Won't you take me home?
So, already changed. A bit of a fast seat from the night. It was really windy. But actually this Gore-Tex layer really helped, so I didn't feel the wind inside at all. The only problem was that the outer layer was shaking like crazy. But all in all, it was okay. All in all, it was okay. Now I will make breakfast, my camp, and then start hiking again. It's really windy today, way more windy than yesterday. And yesterday was already windy. I quickly will make some food. I needed quite long for removing the camp because the wind was crazy. Food is ready, fully hydrated. take a look. Oh, it smells really nice, like vanilla. Oh no, cinnamon. It's vanilla and cinnamon. Good, so basically straight lines through here. The wind is crazy. Woohoo! Straight line.
Directly first thing in the morning, I got confronted with a very challenging obstacle. The route led me over the side of the volcano. Because of the way how the lava tunnels were formed, I had to go up and down these little hills.
I think all these caves here are lava caves. And basically during the outbreak, here's where the lava comes out. It reminds me of Star Wars. Could be Tatooine, maybe? I think it's Tatooine. Whew. George, I am your father. Wow, this is amazing. And how shall I cross this? The way goes through this, straight through. Not sure how to make it. Okay, so I decided I actually don't leave the track. I go here down and then here sideways up. That should work and I don't really need to leave the track. The alternative would be go here along and then right, but then I'm not on the actual track anymore, so I will try this one. I don't want to cheat. Let's do this. The stone is very slippery. It also breaks apart. Hallelujah. Up like this. Whew. Oh, first of all, the wind is back. Second of all, this looks even worse. Oh. Okay, so the GoPro power died. So basically from top there, I completely slide it down here. I left the trail a bit, I think it's around here. But yeah, it was impossible to climb down there and climb up again. So I'm now 5 meters off. We'll try to climb up now here somewhere and continue and hopefully leave the volcano soon. I walk over stones and the stones lie around, but I cannot trust them because they are slippery as hell. That's why we say never trust a stone. Never trust a stone. I will try to slide controlled, more or less.
It was as I would not move forward at all. I'm only 1.2 kilometers away from my camp spot, but it took me already almost 2 hours to come to here.
So it seems this is the end of the volcano, which means I should be able to make speed again. I need to go now a bit up this side to go back on my trail where I came from. As I said, I left a bit, but it was impossible. So I guess in total I left around 10 meters on the right side towards east. More than what I should have, but again, impossible. Good, let's try to make some distance and some speed. Let's go.
For me, the landscape was really stunning, but hard to describe. Differently to everything I was used to. Different, but beautiful. Because I could not follow the straight line, I needed now to climb back up the volcano to go back to the trail.
I hope you can see this, but a bit more up and then I'm back at the line, it's a pink thing there. So a little bit more to this direction and I meet the old trail again.
And then finally, after 3 hours, this obstacle was mastered and I was back on the track. Leaving the volcano behind, it seems also the landscape changed. It got hotter and instead of volcanic stones, the ground got more and more sandy.
Look at this. It's the bone from a goat. It's crazy. Or a sheep, but I guess it's a goat.
Until the stones completely disappeared and I found myself in endless seeming sand dunes.
Now the sand starts. We need to mark that we were here. G.
C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time you sing with me.
G.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P,
George.
Q, R,
Nothing but sand.
Sister, I didn't mean to keep you waiting. Brother, I know this might seem a little frustrating, but if she keeps me hanging on, I come on home to you. Father, you know we beg, we steal, we borrow. Mother, I never meant to bring you sorrow, but if she keeps me hanging on, oh, come on home to you.
Crazy. There we are coming from. Far behind this mountain there we slept. And before that, yesterday, we went all the way across to the other side. And now we're still here in the sand.
Slowly but steady I made progress. Most difficult part was to climb the sand dunes.
Hey, guess what? A dune. Ow.
Some of them even reached 12 meters. I was way behind schedule. My actual plan was to be already at the half of the planned route at this time.
I found a new exercise to entertain myself a bit. I draw the straight line. I think slowly I start to get crazy. And the sun is actually quite start to be annoying. It's really strong. I feel I have sunburn on my lips. And the wind is blowing and the sun is shining. And the George is walking in the desert. We need to go a bit in this direction and then we turn back and go upwards, which is in the third leg of the square. It seems I'm leaving the sand dunes and exchange the dunes to rocks again.
After the dunes I kept up the pace, but walking on these rocks was very difficult. Half of the trail was almost done, but the sun was getting lower and lower, and slowly I realized I would not make it.
Oh, that might be a problem. Here's like construction. My trail goes directly through it. There's a fence, so I need to go now along this one. Up, up. So, I call this exercise for failed The trail is actually 1 kilometer in this direction, so I made a huge detour because of this fence.
Besides the fact that I came off the track because of the fence, also the sun sank. It was 20 minutes till sunset. And I was not even on the half of the square. I completely underestimated the trek and how much time I would lose from walking off the track.
Nevertheless, it was an amazing experience. Also, a big thanks to Fritz Meinecke from whom I stole the idea of following a straight line. He did the same thing in Germany and also in Madeira. Make sure you check out his channel and leave also some love there. I'm not in Fuerteventura anymore. I continued my travels and I arrived on the next island here in Tenerife. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week for a new adventure. Ciao, ciao.